Hey there, guys. It's Mia here. I am so excited. As always, I am so excited about this quick live topic today. Today, I'm going to share information about a six-figure plus sprint and how in 90 days is all you need to hit six figures or an additional six figures. I'm going to break that down. I'm Mia Redrick, a business and life consultant. I got started in my company over 20 years ago, and I simply made a decision. I made a decision to change my life by packaging my background as a corporate trainer, my years of expertise into my very own business. Now, you may be just like me listening to this and thinking, I know that there is something that I'm meant to do. I'm meant for more. I want to use the skills, the talents that I have, whether they're a hard skill or soft skill. Hard skill, something you've trained for, studied for. Soft skill could be something that you're just naturally good at. Like maybe it's something like motherhood or gardening or organizing, and you want to parlay that into your very own coaching and consulting business. That's what I'm going to talk a little bit about today, or training business. Let me just share this so that I can make sure all the individuals who are meant to see this um, get this, because I can tell you that this live is going to really support and change you. Be a great friend and share this live with someone that can benefit. And I always say giants share. We do. Well, giants, we share what it is that's great. Now, over the course of listening to this live, whether you're listening to me live or you're watching this replay, I want you to understand this, that over the next 90 days, you can change the trajectory of your life and of your business. And that's just completely up to you. And what you do now will completely determine what's going to happen. I wanted to share my system with you. I've coached thousands of women over the last 20 years, and I've supported many of these women in being able to hit six figures. And in a 90-day window, the last time I ran a sprint was about 6 years ago. And I showed simply a subset of women, about 25 or 30 women, how to package what they knew for premium in a short period of time. And over the course of 6 weeks, many of those women hit six figures. And, I can't guarantee that you will create the exact same results, but I know this: I've never had a failure for the individuals who have been implementers, go-getters, and they're willing to do the work. See, it's one thing to know what to do, it's another thing to do it. So tonight, what I'm going to teach on very simply is the six-figure plus sprint, because I know that most of the women that watch me, you're already earning six figures in your work, or have, and maybe you just want to hit another six figures in your business. Or if you're new in your business, or your models are broken, right? They're not time-rich models, meaning you're trading time for dollars. You want to know, how do I hit six figures and make this thing time rich? I'm going to explain that tonight. So make sure you guys, you come in, you get your notepads out, get your note cards. I have my big note cards here. Get your note cards out. If you have questions, I'll field any of those at the end of this live. All right. And my only goal, as always, is to support you 100%, and making sure that as a result of you hearing me tonight, that you'll think differently about what's possible in a short-term window. Okay. Let me see, how many points do I have for you guys today? I think there are 8. So there are 8 points that I'm going to talk about today. And each of these, I thought about, these are the things that I've done to help my clients hit six figures and beyond in a 90-day time frame. So I'm using that time window because the truth of the matter is, I have clients, some who are hitting more than, $100,000, $150,000. And sometimes, depending on the market or who they're working with, they may lay the foundation now, and they may see over the course of several months that opportunity comes into fruition, depending on if it's a contract or something like that. But for those of you who want to hit or lay the foundation for your six figures in your business over the next 90 days, listen up. All right, so let me just start with the very first point, which is number 1, why 90 days is the sweet spot for revenue acceleration. Okay, so the first reason is because most people think that they need a year to hit six figures, and it's just not true. All right, that's part of the mindset that often we tell ourselves because of we're used to work or maybe what you're earning in work, and you're used to spreading income over a period of a long time. But when you're running a business and you are packaging what you know the right way and you understand that, you do not need a year in order for you to hit six figures. I'll give you a quick example. Let's say, for example, you're new, you just get started, and I show you how to package what you're doing into a high ticket product. A high ticket product being something you sell for $2,500 or more. So let's say $5,000 is your product. You only need 20 clients. Okay. And if you understand how to build the product for the ideal client from the very beginning, that becomes a lot easier. See, so many people today are doing this thing all wrong. They're focusing on the niche, right? And you probably have heard this: choose a niche, pick a niche. But I've never picked a coach because of a niche. I pick people to work with me and teach me, coach me, mentor me, strategically advise me based on the results that they can create. And the reason that someone will want to work with you and pay you $5,000 or more per client is because of the results that you can create. So somebody write hashtag a niche is not necessary. And I know that you've heard it completely differently, but a niche isn't necessary for you to hit six figures and beyond. So that's the first thing. So I'm talking today, the very first point is why 90 days is the sweet spot for revenue acceleration. You do not need a year. 90 days forces you to have clarity. It forces your momentum and intentional action. And so a lot of times when people have more time to do what they want to do, they don't accomplish anything because they are so focused on, they've got this time. But when you take in a smaller window and we have a plan and you work that plan over the course of 90 days, and there's absolute accountability, you can get that goal completed a lot easier. Your implementation is more smoother. You understand what you're doing. I'll give you an example, something that likely you've experienced even. You start with a goal. You think, okay, I'll do this over 6 months. I'll do this over the course of a year. And you don't complete the things that you need to do or implement. It's like writing a book, but never completely following the routine of finishing the chapters, so the book never gets out there. Does that make sense? So sometimes the reason that we aren't successful isn't because what we want to do isn't going to be successful. It's the fact that we have this window and we believe we have all the time in the world. And I'm telling you, the time is now. In a 90-day window forces you to get clear, to implement, and it gives you the momentum that you need. And also having that defined window eliminates the excuses. It eliminates the distractions that likely are getting in the way. Sometimes when you wait too long to get things done, other things come up. But when you give yourself 90 days, it's just 90 days. We can do almost anything for 90 days. You find that you tend to be more consistent and more persistent. Are we clear? Is this making sense? And even if you're watching the replay, I want you to write hashtag this is making sense. Second reason that 90 days can produce your six-figure plus year is what you need to know is what happens when you have a real model, not just an idea. Now, this is really important because a lot of times when we get started in business, we have an idea about what we want to do, but we don't have a real model. And my clients are successful in their businesses because I showed them how to create a model that will work. And the first and most important thing is knowing first and foremost how to build a business that is around your life. One that if you had to do that exact same thing for 10 years or 20 years, you'll want to. And I say this because, sure, there are a lot of people who are so money focused that they build a business they want to leave. And maybe listening to me right now, you may be in that place. You might say, God, I'm making the money, but I don't like the model. Okay. So for me, I'll give you an example. I built my business. I've worked from the comfort of my home for 20 plus years. I built a business around my life. I wanted to be the mom that could be, I called it the cupcake mom. I wanted to have the freedom and the flexibility when my kids were younger to see everything. And I knew that I had to build a business that was timed to do that. I also didn't want a cap on my income, meaning that if I were working, just trading time for dollars, that meant that I could only work with a certain number of people before I would burn out. Or, I want to work with 60 people and spend an hour with each of them each and every month individual. I mean, each and every week individually? No. Okay, that's tiresome. Puts a cap on your income. So the model really does matter, and the money is always in the model. Are you clear? Okay, the money is always in the model. And there's a difference between I think I can help people and having a structured model. And so I don't know where you're sitting as you're listening to this right now, where you are with this. Like maybe you already have this business, you can help people and you already are helping people, but you don't have a structured offer in a way that fully values and positions you for what it is that you do the best. And that's one of the things that I am really great at helping my clients understand, is that it's not just the model. It's literally understanding that we've got to have a model structure around what your strengths are and what it is that you do exceptionally well. Six-figure outcomes come from systems, not from personality. So listen, I've got a great personality, but that's not the reason that I've coached thousands of people in my company. It's because of the systems that I have built that have really supported me being able to work with clients one to many, to be able to consistently deliver the right results, the similar results to clients over and over again. If you know how to create results for others, but you don't have a structured process to do that, it means like you're dropping seed on the ground. It also means that when people come to you, you can't duplicate that which you do. Are we clear? All right. And it's very important, if you want to hit six figures or more over the course of a 90-day period of time, that you have a systematic process to be able to do that. Having the background experience and results that translate into a high ticket model quickly is what will allow you in 90 days to be able to hit six figures or more. Now, here's the thing. I know you're like, Mia, I wasn't thinking like high ticket. I'm just getting started in my business, or I just want to test it out. I know that you've heard that. I want to do a beta test. I'm going to do this for free and see what people think. And the truth is, I've never done any of that. I don't teach my clients to do that either, because you're already an expert at what you do, and you don't need to practice to help people create results, to prove to yourself that you can do this. You can do this. And it's about having that believability, that courage in yourself, and having the confidence to be able to stand in your value. And that really comes from, in my opinion, great coaching and mentoring and strategic advisement around how to put together the signature offer for you, not what you're seeing that everybody else is doing on the internet. Because what if you copy someone's model? It looks good, right? It's great branding, and all of that. But the reality is that on the back end, right, that nobody buys it, or on the back end, it doesn't create results. Knowing how to put together your signature offer is what I've helped hundreds of my clients do through the Giant Experience Master Training, my signature master class that I've hosted. Hundreds of those clients have come over the course of a weekend, have been able to, many of them, package what they know and put it into a structure that allows them to sell one-to-many to clients. Many of them have hit six figures over a couple of weeks. We've even had some do it within a week. We've had many clients who've hit $25,000, $10,000 or more, and they just learn how to do it over and over and over again, because they learn how to package what they know. They learn how to price to fully value their transformation they can provide for a client. They learn how to position themselves as the obvious choice and never compete on price. And they learn how to close and sell their own way. And a lot of times women, we have not learned always how to stand in our value and communicate that and ask for it and be expecting to receive it. So I teach my clients all of those things as a result of working with me. The fourth thing, or I should say the third thing, is that we're talking today about the six-figure plus sprint, which is just possible for you, what 90 days of focus can produce. I put together a 90-day sprint for clients who, it starts December the 9th. And over the next 90 days, I'm going to show you how you can hit six figures. And here's the coolest thing. My guarantee is that if you don't hit six figures in 90 days, I'll work with you until you do. That's how sure I am that you'll hit the goal. Now, it works really simply. Monday, you get a training from me that is sent to your inbox. And then on Thursday, there is strategic advisement. There's a group call. And the reason that that structure works is because there's the power of the weekly direction and strategic advisement where I get to see inside your business and advise you directly on what you need to do around your packaging, your pricing, your positioning, your selling, and coaching you through that. Having the direct accountability so that you're not coaching yourself. And sometimes, when things get hard or people say no, or we don't always have the motivation, but when you're seen, when you're fully seen, you show up differently. Accountability always accelerates execution. It's just true. And you can look at what you've done last month or what you've done the last 6 months. Who knew about what it is that you really said you were going to do? Think about your goals over the course of this year. Did you exceed your goals? And likely, if you didn't, no judgment, okay, it is probably because you've been coaching yourself and it's just not the way to do it. So the 90-day sprint is structured where you get your training on Mondays. On Thursday, I see you. I'm coaching you directly and strategically advising you on Thursday. And the only goal is to get you to move faster because you're guided and you're not guessing. All right. And anybody know that they need to stop guessing and get some guidance, right? You can put hashtag that's me. All right. Number 4, the fourth thing that I want you to keep in mind if you want to hit 6 figures plus over the course of 90 days is that there's the biggest shift in the world, right? Which is confidence that comes from implementation. And I promise you, I have had clients who have come to me who have never sold anything before. I help them package what they do into a high ticket and high valued product. And the moment that they begin to close and sell, the level of confidence that comes forward. It's funny. I'll have someone that comes to me and maybe they selling something for $500 or $1,500 before I meet them. And then we look at what their offer is and how to make it a time-rich, high-value product based on what their strengths are. And maybe that product becomes 15 grand. And then the moment that they close that very first $15,000 sale, the level of confidence that comes, because of their implementation. And then, it's Katie bar the door. They're willing to do more and more and more. Maybe you have experienced that you're not as motivated as you once were because there's something missing. There's an element that is missing, right? Results aren't created from intention. They're created from action. It's from what you do. That's what will allow you to really be able to stand in your value, believe more in what you're doing. When you implement weekly, revenue becomes predictable. And so a lot of times when I'm talking to clients and they tell me what their goal is, how much they want to earn or what they want to do, and I'll ask them about, how are you implementing? What is it that you're doing? And you realize that one of the biggest things that gets in the way is their actual implementation or lack thereof. Having that accountability, someone to hold you, right? Accountable for what it is that you say you want to do. I always call it keeping the promises that you have made to yourself, right? And confidence increases when you start to produce outcomes. And that's always the case. You go from in the beginning, like, is this going to work? Am I going to be able to do it? But the more you implement over and over again and you start to create success, okay? And success can look like a lot of different things. It could look like, when you create a product that people want. Maybe you market and people sign up. They want to hear from you. Maybe it's that you're having conversations with people who want to hear from you. Maybe it's that you start to sell those things that you are offering in a more consistent way. And you start to feel more confident about what it is that you create. And let me tell you what people buy from you the most. Or you guys can even right here, you can post your comment. What do you think people buy from you the most? Okay. What I know people buy from me the most is certainty. So, and that's what they'll buy the most from you as well. And a lot of times we don't think that being sure of ourselves is what allows others to be sure. How are you going to walk someone through a problem if you're doubtful as to whether or not what you're doing is going to work or not. Is that making sense? Okay. Number five, the fifth thing that I want you to keep in mind if you want to hit six figures over the course of 90 days are the common patterns that block women from earning six figures. Okay. There's something that happens, right? One is, I would say, trying to piece things together instead of working a plan. And I've seen this, people building a business with a band-aid and some tape and not having a step-by-step process. Now, listen, it doesn't mean that a step-by-step process means it's for every single person to do things the same way. My clients have a lot of different types of businesses. I've worked with clients in all different types of industries. And the truth of the matter is a step-by-step for one person isn't necessarily what's applicable for another. But one of the things that's very important is not piecing things together and to understand from the beginning to the end why you are doing what you're doing. One of the things I offer my clients are VIP days, and some of them will come and spend a half a day or a full day with me. And all we're doing is mapping out what that plan is. My group coaching, consulting with my clients, I show them, how to put a plan in place. And that's really important. A lot of times the other thing that gets in the way is selling time instead of transformation. The truth is that people want to work with you because of the results that you create. And sometimes we don't always want to share the results that we create because maybe people have said you're a little braggy or tone it down. And so you kind of are holding the most important gem that would allow someone to say, you are for me. The reality is that the women that I've had the privilege to work with come to work with me because they watch me build the business and brand from scratch. They literally watch me go from having the idea of what I wanted to do to hiring and investing in coaches over the years who helped me to be able to figure out for myself, the system, the structure, the models, right? I had the right models. I didn't figure these things out just on my own, but piecing things together. And they watched me build a coaching business from scratch to initially coaching hundreds of women, then thousands of women who've come through my programs. They watched me build my brand as a national expert, right? Being featured in all kinds of national publications. They watched me equally get signed to Emmy-nominated, nationally syndicated television shows as paid talent. They watched me do strategic deals with corporate brands. And I say this to you is because they saw the transformations that I was creating. And they said, we want that for us. All right. And the same is true for you. The people who are going to want to work with you want to work with you because of the transformations that you bring to the table. The other thing that I think gets in the way is underpricing because you're missing the structure and the positioning. So sometimes prices are low because you don't have the structure, right? And so therefore you can't see how you could charge 20,000 or 15,000. And so therefore your prices stay low, or you're charging by the hour, and or your positioning. It means that you've got all of these years of education, but maybe you're launching, you're like, but I'm new in this business. And so you approach the business as this person that's new, when in reality, you have so many years of experience. And if you just understood how to build the brand and position yourself properly, your ideal clients would come to you, they would flock to you. But these are things that you can't just make up yourself. And interestingly enough, you can't coach yourself. Okay. I'm magical in many things. I'm not really that great at coaching myself. There are things that I don't even see that I have capacity for, that someone else can look, who's been there, done that, who can look at inside my business and say, do this, and I'll make all the difference. What 90 days of focus can look like. Number six, yields are big to me, right? Your high ticket offer could be built the right way. And I say the right way because there is a right way to build an offer and there's a wrong way. I work with women who are smart, they're sharp, fully capable. And it's important to build a business that is aligned with where you are and where you're going. So if you want to build a business, you don't want to work on Fridays, you don't want to work on Mondays, right? Because you want to spend more time with family or yourself, then knowing how to build and structure a business properly around the life you want to build, to me, is everything. I love to cook, I love the garden and things like that. And I built a business that allows me the freedom to do the soft things that I enjoy tremendously. My business is around my life. I make room for the things that I love to do. Does that make sense? And I'm not fitting in the things that I love to do around the business. And I know that we've heard, sometimes we hear so many masculine models about how to run a business, or you can't run a business, be successful, hit six figures or more without hustle and grind. But you have to ask yourself if the hustle and grind is sustainable for you long term. A lot of you have already been doing this over and over again, the hustle and grind, and you're tired of it. And there is a better way. I say this because when I decided to build my business from the comfort of my home 20 years ago, people thought I was crazy. Okay, first of all, it's 20 years ago. No one's really working from home. It wasn't even, COVID, it became a popular term, but then it wasn't. And this idea that for the last 20 years, I've been able to build a business doing what I absolutely love to do this way, to me, there's nothing else I'd rather pass forward or pay forward to you than to show you how to do exactly the same. You need a clear message that speaks to your ideal clients. And, listen, we all have the right people that want to work with us. If we've got people right now who are ready to work with you, and if you know how to tell your story properly, share what it is that you know how to do, your capacity for creating results. You've got people right now who will pay you to work with you. But you need to know how to create that clear message so that those people can find you. And it's something that I've learned, over the years. I built most of my business online. I'm doing videos very similar to this. And I've had so many women who have come forward and say, I resonate with you. I like the way that you raise your kids. And I like how you are as a woman. I like the things that you share, you speak on. I can relate to that. I love the way that you've been able to work from the comfort of your home. I love the fact that time freedom is something that's important to you. I love that you are values forward in what it is that you do. I love, those kinds of things. The fact of the matter is, having a clear message allows the person that you are for to know you're for them. And I always say that this is why I've never, my practice has never been to be a creative duplicator, right? That means watch what somebody else does and duplicate it. People don't want a fake version of you. And besides that, if you're just watching what other people are doing, transcribing it and recording it, what does that say about who you are? I believe you were created, endowed with incredible gifts that only you were meant to impart to others. And it's such a disrespect to me, to God, right? When we don't use the gifts that we have been given to elevate the world, when we think that what somebody else got is better than what we have. All right, enough of that. And you also need a marketing framework that moves people to a yes. This is important. There are many ways to get someone to go to a yes that's interested in working with you. Most people don't know how to have a conversation that allows individuals to be able to move toward a yes. It's not just saying, I have this course, I have this program, I have this training. Would you like to buy this? There is a marketing process that's very effective that allows your ideal clients to be able to say, that's me. Okay, like literally. And that's whether they're watching a video like this, or whether they are watching you on a webinar, or whether you're in person in front of a room, or you're on the phone and having a conversation with them. You have to know what that framework is so that you can have a serious and great conversation with people who are your ideal clients. And you got to know how to create that. If you don't know how to do that yourself, it's worth investing in, because what if you had the greatest product in the world and it can create awesome results, but you don't know how to sell? Okay. Listen, invest in the part of you that needs to grow so that you can realize the results that you want. you know, there also are revenue opportunities that you can't see before you're positioned. This happens all the time. I have a client and I'll work with them and show them how to package themselves differently and how to position their messaging. And all of a sudden, folks just start coming to them. And this is what happens. They're ideal clients. And they'll say to me, Mia, and they were asking me, do you also have this? See, when you're positioned the wrong way, your ideal clients aren't ideal. The people that are watching you, they need you, but they don't know they need you because you're not positioned properly. And it's just true knowing how to structure your programs so that your ideal client knows that this is for me. This is exactly the thing that I have been looking for. Okay. And I think the other thing I'd say is, creating a business that can pay you back. A lot of you have been in business for a while, and maybe you don't have a business that is paying you back. Like you keep putting out money in the business, and you are like, man, I'm making all these investments, but I don't see a yield. It's really important to know what you're missing so we can get that business profitable. We're talking today about the six-figure sprint and what 90 days of focus can produce. And I am offering a sprint. It starts on December the 9th, and it'll run for 90 days. And then there's a live event at the end of that sprint. And the goal is to support you with building your six-figure plus model. So you go into the new year with momentum. And the first 2 months of that new year, we're rocking it out. You've got the accountability, you've got the advisement, you've got the structure. You're in a community of giants, women your own ambition level and above. And our only focus is to get this done because that's the work. Once we get the momentum at the top of the year, you just rinse and repeat the rest of the year. Are we clear? Right. Number 7, who the sprint is for, who it's not for. I want to just explain that. The sprint is for a woman who's already able to create results and is ready to move. So I'm really for that person that is ready to do the work, who she's teachable, she's coachable, she's highly actionable. She's already been that way. Not the person that's getting ready to get ready, not the person who wants to be in 10 free challenges. I'm not for that person. This is for that person that understands that hitting their revenue goal, okay, is a possibility based on their skills and their talent, or hitting an extra six-figure plus in their business, and they want to commit to that. It's for implementers, not dreamers. There are people who dream all day long, but they don't do anything. But if you're a person that you run plays and you're an implementer, this is going to be for you. It's not for those who need hand-holding. It's for the individuals who already do believe in themselves. This is very important, okay? And it's not for women who want shortcuts instead of strategy. Literally, everything that I am teaching you is strategy on how you, in your business, with your background, can package what you do to be able to hit 6 figures or more in your business. And so, it's one of the things that it really excites me, because when I think about who I've worked with in the past, women who they were awesome. They're already rock stars. They have already done amazing things in their life, in their career. They're not questioning their ability to be able to connect and create results, but they just need that structure and that system if that's you. And if you're willing to show up for yourself and keep your promises, I'll be with you every step of the way. And so I'd say the invitation is clear, right? If you want over the next 90 days if you want that to look different than the last 9 months, this is absolutely for you. And if you want there to be a real outcome of 6 figures and it not be a wish, then for sure, that's the invitation for you to join the 90-day sprint starting on December the 9th. And if you want to structure your accountability and have advisement to get it done, then this is going to be for you, because this is structured. There's advisement, there is accountability, and it's so you can get it done. And I promise you that using the systems that I've created and me having the opportunity to hear from you each and every week is going to really allow me to be able to direct your path, hold you accountable, give you that actionable thing that you need to do to be able to get the business done and moving in the direction of 6 figures plus over the course of 90 days. I can't work with everyone. I'd love to. So it will be a small subset of individuals who I will help. And here's the coolest part is that whether you join or not, you'll have the opportunity eventually to see the results. You'll see the testimonials, and I'll just add them to the hundreds of other testimonials of women that I've had the opportunity to support. The last time that I hosted something like this, it's about 6 years ago. And we had so many individuals who hit six figures over the course of weeks. And that ran for 6 weeks. This is a 90-day sprint, and it's to help you build that foundation going into the new year for your six-figure plus year. Okay. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. And I'm so excited about the six-figure sprint. You'll see here the link, and I think I can post it here as well. You'll see here, I'll post a link here. Let me just grab it real quick. Okay, let me post this link here. And you should see now in the comments, if this has piqued your interest at all, I want to post the link, and you should grab that link right now and encourage you to sign up. And, I'm excited to have the opportunity to be able to work with you in advance. And for those of you who are watching, and you've been watching me for a long time, and you've been waiting for something like this is your chance, right? I haven't done this in a couple of years because my clients are in other programs and they get amazing results working with me. And I just thought this is my way to pay it forward for those of you who, I thought it'd be fun for those of you who want to hit six figures over the course of the next 90 days. All right. So I want to thank you for being here today. I'm Mia Redrick, business and life consultant. I got started in my company 20 plus years ago, and I just made a decision to go to work as myself. And I decided that I could do it. And I want you to know you can do it too. I love you. I hope you have a great and amazing night, and I'll see you inside of the six-figure plus sprint.